Hi, I'm Alvaro Henrique, and in this lesson I'm teaching you how to play the Gymnopedie number 1 by Erik Satie. This arrangement is made by John Chiaro. Let me just see. Okay, John de Chiaro. It's published by Melbay on an album called Melodie d'Amour. Piano Masterworks transcribed for classic guitar solo, published by Melbay. You can buy it in Melbay's website or order other stores. This music was composed in a time where the tonal system was in crisis. From this crisis of this tonal system, two solutions emerged. The first one by the German-like composers, I mean especially the second school of Vienna, Schoenberg, Weber, Berg. They want to develop even more the dissonance, the tension, to increase the dissonance and the tension of the music even more than the tonal system allowed before. And in France, composers decided to solve this crisis of the tonal system by using elements of music that were not tonal. Debussy was a case in its own, and he preferred to watch and learn from the music of other traditions that did not incorporate the tonal system at all. And other French composers, Ravel, Fauré, Satie as well, they decided to learn mainly from the music previous the tonal system, before the tonal system, which is mainly modal music from the Renaissance, from the medieval times. And this Gymnopedie number 1, although it's full of dissonances, sevenths, nines, sixths, it has a lot of features from the modal system. You can listen it just from the beginning. It's in A major. Well, it's quite funny to say that because it doesn't end in an A major, but if it were a tonal music per se, it would be in A major. So it starts with D major with major seventh, which is the fourth, the subdominant, and then the tonic. And this cadence, the subdominant tonic, is a very popular cadence in medieval times. It's also called the Amen cadence because it's very common in the ending of masses. This Amen, so common in Renaissance and medieval music. So we could make a more developed harmonic analysis of this music, but I think especially for this music, it's so known, there are so many great recordings, it's so clear that you can achieve great results just by following the shape of the melody, which means when the melody goes higher, you play louder, when the melody goes lower, you play softer. That, I think it would be more of a curiosity or an exercise for harmonic lovers, and for just playing the music, it's not that necessary in this music. But I recommend you to do it, especially to observe these features of modal music present here. It does improve our understanding of the music and make our interpretation a little bit more sophisticated, but I wouldn't say it is fundamental to play this work. There will be other pieces where which I'll tell you must make an harmonic analysis. So I'm saving for that pieces. So technically speaking, there is a very important sound challenge here. You have to pluck every chord with this being the axis of your movement. So you have to close your hands as if you're making a fist. Of course, you don't complete the movement, because that's the only way you can balance the chords. Not only balance by making one note a little bit stronger than other if you want to, but also because you have to pluck during all the music, almost always, all the notes from each chord at the same time. This is the kind of piece that you should play in arpeggio fashion at the most three chords. 4 if you are this arpeggio crazy, but especially because we are so used to hear those dissonance like this major seventh, and you want, let's show it. Oh, there's a major seventh as well. Wow, one more arpeggio, and then it just becomes one arpeggio after the other, and arpeggios should be a special effect. They should be like this very good joke that we include in a lesson, for example. But if you tell the same joke more than once for the same audience, it won't sound funny any longer. So it's important to save the arpeggio for those very 2 special moments of the music, and play almost always the notes together every time. Okay. One more thing to achieve that. You have to, especially because you have to play soft most of this music, you should not make your hand a little bit numb. No, you make it, it doesn't need to be tense, but it must be in this awareness state, ready to play, but not tense, okay, but ready to play. And it's best to make the dynamics by controlling the size of the movement. When you have to play softer, just make the same movement as making the fist, but just a little bit. And when you need to play louder, you complete the movement. But you don't need to play it harder or stronger or to put more energy. Just keep this ready to play awareness and make the dynamics by controlling the size of the movement. There's no need to use any power at all to achieve louder, or worse, to take the power away and make your hand a little bit numb to play it softer. Okay? Now we are going to play the melody. When you are playing the melody in this arrangement by John de Chiaro, almost always the melody is on the first string. So you have to play that string a little bit louder than other notes. And you can achieve that result by 2 ways. First one, like Maestro Alvaro told us, you prepare your hand to play the notes, but the finger that you want to stress, you make it a little bit down the others, I'm exaggerating here, of course, so you can see even in your cell phone in this video. But if you do that, there will be a natural accent on the finger that you move down. On the way, thinking also in making dynamics by the size of the movement, you just start your A finger a little bit higher, and then when you pluck the three notes together, the A moved more, so it made a longer movement, so it will sound louder. And of course, you can combine both. You can play it a little bit higher, not that much naturally, and a little bit downwards. So you can achieve also this accent. Nice. Because the melody is almost always on the first string, you will have to face several position changes. They are not that difficult, especially because it's quite slow, but you have to be aware to make them very precisely. There's a very good exercise so you can learn very fast how to make precise position changes. You play the last note on a position, for example, if I'm playing here, then I have to change from here. So I play the last note and release them immediately. I think where my fingers should be. I can even visualize my finger playing the next note. So think. It's very important to think. Then you move and play the note as fast as you can, like a kung fu attack. So it's kung fu. Pluck, release, think, kung fu. It's not Tai Chi Chuan. It's not. No, not Tai Chi Chuan. Kung Fu. Okay? But it's very important to think first. If you don't think, you are going to be a passenger of your own hand. And this is not a good place to be. You have to be the pilot. You have to tell exactly what your hand must do. Then it will obey you. You cannot just watch and see what your hand will do and be surprised of the result. No, you have to control it. If you play this exercise for each challenging change position 5 times, 10 at the most, and then in the next study session to reinforce with 3 or 4, you will be able to master those position changes easily in 2 days at the most. Okay? One more challenge related to the melody is there are many times which the melody has a very long note and you have to pluck accompaniment after. You are playing the melody note, it's a long note, so it will become softer and softer, but the next notes you are playing must be even softer than the soft period of your long note. It should be like that. For example, I'm playing here, and then this B is a very long note, and it should be the louder note from all these 2 measures. Of course, there will be a time where I will have to mute the second string, but even so, I'm playing notes softer than the B falling down. Then I keep the illusion to the listener that it's still ringing. Okay, nice. Of course, there are more details, there are more things that should be told, but there are so many great recordings by so many people in so many instruments that if you take your time listening to through 2 or 3 other performances, you already have a lot of musicality to be inspired by. I must also stress that this is the kind of music that you should really play it as clean as possible. This is the kind of music that you should play with great sound and no buzz at all. Depending on your string and also on your recording system, probably when you release your fingers from the strings, there will sound some buzzes. You may need to mute with your right hand to avoid those buzzes, but it's very important to achieve full coordination, because if you mute a little bit before, it will still buzz. But if you go both hands together, then it's all clear. Hope you have some fun. I'm making this lesson as a part of the curricula of the school I teach, the Escola de Musica de Brasilia. This music would be for the very first semester of our technical course, which would be our intermediate course. So it's a pleasure to have you with me in this journey, and I wish you good luck, and I wish you to enjoy making or knowing the pieces of this intermediate course that I teach at the Escola de Musica de Brasilia. So please subscribe to the channel, listen to the performance, and also click on the bell so you can be notified when more lessons and more videos are published. Have fun!